getting it because Jack Kirby is basically if Grant Morrison grew up in the 50s and was an artist, that's Jack Kirby.
Sure.
But,
No, I like
but I
when
can
Jack-
understand, the whole
Jack
racism
Kirby's best
thing.
point is when he went insane. That's
Yeah,
the best.
no, yeah.
That's
When
the
he
best
went over,
Kirby. Yeah.
when he went over to DC Comics, and they're like, Jack Kirby, my God, the mastermind for Marvel Comics, we finally got you on our side. You can have any one of our titles. What do you want to do? Jimmy Olsen. You're like, what?
I need the whole New Gods, where he's like, I'm gonna make up my own shit. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, what was so bad about that? Like, having he's drawing Jimmy Olsen with Superman, and then DC's like, great, we got Jack the King, and they look at it and go like, okay, let's get Neil Adams in here to redraw Superman, because this ain't no Superman that we own.
Leon wants to fight Will Eisner.
Come on, you dead
Put up
motherfucker,
your dukes,
get
you
up.
old dead Jewish man. Come on.
Right, I'm the ghost of Ebony. Come on, let's duke it out. He named him Ebony, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, because Ebony was black.
But I understand there's a magazine for blacks called Ebony. Was that
Yeah,
not
yeah,
racist?
you'll find it in the aisle right next to the magazine Steppen and the magazine Fetch It.
Will
I was
Eisner
reading
is the
something
editor-in-chief
in the new
of
issue.
Ebony
You
magazine.
read Ebony?
right?
I mean, all the time, dude.
I mean, why not? I read Life.
Wait, Ebony magazine isn't about the spirit's sidekick.
Sometimes.
I haven't read it yet. Sometimes.
Wait a minute. What about that song that Michael Jackson? Oh, never mind. Let's
All
just
right.
go.
Racist characters in comic books.
You know what? I'm really offended by using the term ivory to offend my people, okay? I don't think that's right. We've been oppressed long enough, so we can't fucking dance. Fuck you!
Yeah.
Why did...
It's gonna be okay, Casper. I mean Cyrus.
Hey, why does Cloak got to be the black guy?
Why's Cloak gotta be the Batman, huh? Why can't he shoot light from his fingers? Come on!
Will Figueroa asks, you know that I have a zombie-themed band.
Did we know that he
No,
had a zombie?
Yeah, how could you
I
not know
do.
that?
Okay.
And
you knew
you know
that.
what? I like Will a lot. He's a regular writer, communicator.
Oh
He's
yeah,
good at
they
the
were
site.
the band that was in From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
His
But
band-
Will should stop
his
playing
band's
music.
on MySpace. It's called Dead Man's Deed, and hey, more power to you. He's trying to research everything he can about our undead friends, but more likely just trying to get a plug on here. So
Sure.
fine. So he's asking if you can recommend a couple of great zombie comic books.
I will recommend a few comic books to you, but for continuity's sake, I will only recommend them in zombie. So you should check out. Oh, that's one of my favorites.
See, I was reading for a while, but then it just started to kind of go downhill.
The joke was over.
Ever since took over on the storylines, it just hasn't been the same.
The joke was over before Bo opened his goddamn mouth. I'll be honest right now.
Look, the only good zombie comic I've ever known of was The Walking Dead. Anybody else got another?
No, listen, there have been a glut of zombie comics in the last 2
Actually,
years.
didn't Marvel did a tabloid, Tales of the Zombie.
Yeah,
for a
there
while.
was that. There was Marvel Zombies. There have been an uncountable amount of zombie comics in the last 2 years, and the only one worth a shit is Walking Dead.
If
That's
someone
it.
has another one, I'd be curious to know. Present your case.
I've
for
read
another
a
one.
lot of them. Can't
And
find anything.
Walking Dead is not only the best zombie comic ever, but it's just one of the best comics ever.
True.
Yeah.
It's so
even if
good.
even
and
if issue
so
50 was
well-written.
kind of lackluster.
Okay, well, I haven't read that far still, but it's mature, it's intelligent, it's something non-comic fans could get into as long as you can deal with a certain amount of gore and really depressing stuff.
Yes.
Um,
If hopelessness is your thing, this is your comic.
I will.
I was talking about Bone. Never mind.
I will recommend issue 21 of the original run of Moon Knight
Shut
had
the
had
fuck
a
up,
team
bro.
up with him and Brother Voodoo, which features Caribbean zombies, which are the best and coolest zombies, in my own opinion.
Because they play steel drums.
they play steel drums.
Why does this keep feeling like it's
Exactly.
moving back to the previous subject here? It just seems like we're just edging back towards the whole black thing again.
Yeah, Caribbean Haitian zombies are very different from the George Romero ones, but not superior. Anyway,
Wait, so
no,
are you saying that the black zombie is inferior? What the hell's up with that, man?
they generally don't move as quickly and they lay around a lot.
Wait a minute. And I suppose they eat watermelon brains, too. Give me some of them fried chicken brains, Jason.
Hey, I am still in the room, by the way.
Someone, once again, thanks Leon, asks, I was wondering what other graphic novels you could recommend more so for girls, assuming you've read something that you thought a girl would enjoy.
I have, but Bo came up with the best answers.
Yes, he
That's
did.
because I am basically a teenage girl at heart.
And in your
Actually,
pants.
I would highly recommend
He
it.
has a teenage girl's heart.
in his drawer on his nightstand.
He's got enough of them locked in his basement.
You may have seen the movie version of Ghost World, which had Thora Birch and a really famous Scarlett Johansson, so I know that Cyrus has seen it.
A few times, perhaps.
Oh, God, you've got to stop watching that in your room with the door locked.
Only like 10 minutes or so, again and again.
It's based on a Daniel Clowes series that he ran in his comic book 8 Ball, which is an 8 Ball in general is amazing, but if you can pick up the graphic novel trade paperback of Ghost World, it's just it's really about coming of age for a young woman, 2 young women as a matter of fact, and it's incredible, heart-rending stuff. I absolutely love it.
I would list Ghost World as one of the best adaptations of a graphic novel.
Yeah,
Really?
The Ghost World
absolutely.
movie.
They do,
Yeah, really.
and it steers very far away in some places from the stuff in the comic book, but they get the heart of it completely correct.
They totally do.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And the second recommendation would be Love and Rockets, which I just think despite the fact that it is written by 2 Hispanic brothers from California, they really do an amazing job of writing these incredibly vibrant female characters. Both of the brothers each have their own kind of series. One is called Locas. That would be Jaime Hernandez, and Gilbert Hernandez does a series of stories called Palomar, which is kind of like Gabriel Garcia Marquez, magical reality, south of the border type of thing. And it's just, they're really amazing. Not only that, but they occur more or less in real time. The characters actually age, and oh my god, they actually gain weight. The main character, Maggie, started out as a kind of a waifish little thing. And
I love
now
comics about fat
I
girls.
was like,
Keep
you're
going, Bo.
recommending a comic to woman about woman gaining weight?
No.
Yeah.
Here, well, here's
Yeah, because believe it or not, women don't look like Ms. Marvel and continue to look like Ms. Marvel
that's the
30
thing,
years
he
later.
nails it because that comic really does show real women. When women talk about, I want to see real women, these are real women. It's the perfect comic for women or horny guys who love Latin women.
Latin women
myself.
with big asses, yeah.
Like
I
Leon.
read that comic all the time. I love it.
I actually credit Cyrus for helping introduce my girlfriend to comics because he showed her an Ultimate Spider-Man hardcover trade.
Ultimate
and
Spider-Man.
She loved it. So, yeah, she reads Ultimate Spider-Man every month. Buffy, since we watch all the Buffy series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is hot and cold, honestly,
Yeah,
as a
but
comic.
when it's hot, ooh,
When it's hot, it's
wow.
damn good.
It's so good.
The Dark Tower, because she's a fan of the
Really?
Dark Tower series. Yeah.
Now, is that a continuation after?
No, it's actually so far it's been all a
Just an
story of them
adaptation.
as like when they were kids, basically when they were
It's
from
Dark Tower babies.
yes, exactly. No, it's like the story in Wizard and Glass when they're leaving
Hey, Dark
Hambry.
Man, what do you all do today?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's imagine we're in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
when they're in Hambry and they're making their way back to Gilead, and it's actually really good. And my God, it's gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's doing the art?
Jay Lee.
Okay.
Jay Lee and Peter David's writing it, and it's
Peter David writing it alone is enough to give it some kudos.
Yeah,
so.
and I think maybe her favorite one is Fables.
Yeah. No, I was going to say
which-
Fables or
that-
Sandman.
Fables and Sandman, those are really, really good recommendations if you want to get someone of that alien gender into comics.
Absolutely. I have yet to meet a girl. That's no.
All right, so if we open this up to action figures as well, I'm a somewhat of an action figure collector. I've curved it back some, but I still have a weakness for Batmobiles. And there's one thing when you watch The Dark Knight, you might go like, oh, that Batpod, that new motorcycle he's got. They did that just to sell toys. Well, the thing is, if you go looking for a toy like that Batpod, you won't find one. There's they got a bunch of different Bat motorcycles and Bat copters and planes. And
I noticed
Batmobiles,
that.
but they don't have that Batpod.
I was looking for it yesterday.
So here's the thing. Last Friday, I found it.
Really?
There is a Batmobile they have where the Batpod pops out of it the same way it does in the movie. Because I hadn't seen the movie at the time.
Really?
Yes. But then I see the movie, so I go back to that Walmart to find it because it wasn't in the spot where it should have been.
Gone now. I'm
No,
sure.
I get there, and in the spot with all the rest of the Batmobiles, that one is there. I almost miss it because the box is a little beat up, but I grab it. I found it, the one. I take it to the scanner.
You bought a toy with a beat up box?
I take all my toys out of the box. That's why I'm not a hardcore
Yeah,
collector.
he's not. He does. He
I am
doesn't
not
have
one
any
to just
in-
leave stuff, like, oh, my museum. So I scan the damn thing, and it says, see associate.
Oh.
What does that mean? So I take it up there to the counter, and in my head I'm going, I'm not paying more than $25 for this. Although, really, it's going to have to hit 50 before I don't.
I'm not going to admit to myself how much I'm going to spend for this.
Right. So I get up there and I'm checking out, and I'm just like giddy about having this thing. And I tell the woman, it's like, it says the associate, but I'm, and she goes, she sends scans through. She goes, oh, that's because it's been recalled. I can't sell it to you.
The fuck you can, bitch!
Like, no, what?
But no.
Sorry, can't do it. I'm thinking like that means really I could have just taken it and walked out of the store with it.
And they can't.
Yeah,
tell
no,
him?
that's not really quite what that means, but okay.
Shut up, Jason.
Well played, sir. A touch, a very palpable touch.
So I guess in a way I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot, but anybody out there who sees one, you should probably grab it because it's going to be a collector's item if they have to go back.
Just
and they
grab
can't be
it and
sold.
run, yeah.
Damn.
If somebody actually does get one of those and they say like, hey, I got one, I'll send it to you if you give me your address. I will do something very nice for them.
You will be able to murder Leon in
That
his
is
sleep.
stupid to not. Honestly, though, that is stupid to not have that toy widely available. I mean, if you were to say, "Okay, I've watched this movie now. There is one toy I want from it. It is the tumbler with the bat pod separating from the tumbler."
Yeah.
Honestly, as much as you know about collecting this stuff, the fact that you didn't at that point say to that clerk in a low tone of voice, "Look, I'm a collector here.
Something may happen to your family if you
What
don't
do you
give this
want
to me.
for me to put cash in your pocket right now to give this to me and let me walk out with this?"
Are you implying
there-
that the employees of Toys R Us are not completely ethical?
It was,
That's
it,
crazy.
I'm
it, it,
implying
it
that
was
they're not
Walmart where they have
completely
cameras
satisfied.
everywhere. And
And
also,
yeah, no way.
there's
they
certain-
would have shot. They would have shot him in the parking lot.
there's
Come
certain
on.
clerks you can probably say that to. Then again, sometimes you get like the middle-aged black woman who's already looking at you like,
Why are you buying a toy for?
thank you. I already in my head have that whole like I'm ready to tell her without even her asking. Like,
It's for my kids. It's for my kids.
Yeah, it's for my nephew. That's why I'm buying it.
Son, you're using this to bait kids around the schoolyard, ain't you?
Yes.
I ought to kick your ass right now.
And Leon looked her square in the eyes and said, "I grew up in a white neighborhood."
It's Comic of the Week time, and you know what?
Comic of the week.
once again, we're doing Mark Millar.
Look, I hate to turn this into the Mark Millar show, but the guy.
Well,
on
he
a
does
roll
write
right now.
everything for Marvel Comics now.
Right now, he's on a roll, and I you know what? It was going to be Thor this week, and then I read his new series, 1985, and I got to say, it stopped me in my tracks. And like, this is the most interesting new comic I've read in months.
I gotta say, yeah, I kind of glanced at it in the comic book shop, and I was like, "What the heck is this all about?" And then Leon described me to me, and yeah, it hooked me, hook, line, and sinker. I'm fished, and I'm a little bit distressed about that because it's a really, really, really cool concept, but I know Mark Millar, and I know he's going to take this really cool concept,
And
he's
fuck
going
it
to
up.
stretch it out and fuck it up. So
All right,
I'm just
And try
waiting
to add
for the other.
meaning that he doesn't know.
Yeah,
how to add.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Hey,
But Leon,
could
this
you
is-
guys not talk shit about it?
No,
It's still
go
going
on.
good
No,
right now.
it is a really cool series at this point, and by all means, it definitely deserves to be comic of the week.
Mark Millar does manage to end stuff successfully. The Ultimates run, his Ultimates run, beautiful all the way through. There are points you're like, dude,
Yeah.
how are you going to pull yourself out of this?
Yeah.
And sure
Yeah.
enough, he
His
did.
Wolverine
So-
Enemy of the State run,
was
flawless.
Yeah, flawless, absolutely. So let's not be too harsh on Mark. He does fuck shit up from time to time. Civil War, but
Yes, he does manage to fuck up the entire Marvel universe from time to time.
But science!
But science.
But okay, Leon, what is this about?
Oh, this is the closest Marvel has come to doing a Vertigo comic, which is basically about a kid in 1985 who's a comic collector who goes to his favorite comic shop where the guy main guy who runs it is a fat douchebag.
The touch Bo's butthole.
Not just like the comic book guy in The Simpsons.
He's a fat douchebag like most comic book store
every comic book
owners.
shop owner we remember
Yeah.
from 1985. It's about a kid. He's a typical comic person. Is that he's a bit of a loner. He's having issues at home because his parents are divorced and he's not really cottoning to the new stepfather.
Which I think all of us here can relate to on some level.
on some level. And then he thinks there's a creepy old house down the street, and he thinks he sees the Mole Man there.
Well, it's like this Victorian ruin back in the woods too. I mean, it's just like and you're spot on with the Vertigo reference because it looks like the fucking House of Mystery, dude.
Right, it
does.
It's
Yeah.
right
But
there.
at the same time, he's getting something that's identifiable from our childhood at that point. That house was in my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
exact house with all the crap out front, and the boarded up
And that's-
windows, and yet someone was still apparently living there.
One of the bonding things that he's got with like his parents' marriage has fallen apart. His mom's kind of married, a term that probably wasn't even in play in 1985, but a yuppie, definitely proto yuppie. His dad's like kind of a sad sack guy with a lot of potential, musician, artist, but not a lot of drive. And they're one of the things that they can really connect upon is they're both comic book fans. He was a comic book fan in the 60s when Marvel was first coming up. And the kids, reading Marvel Comics nowadays. And this is 1985, so, he's reading Civil War and, Chris Claremont X-Men, stuff like that.
not
Civil War.
Secret War.
Excuse me, Secret War, yes.
War.
The First War, excuse me.
The big war.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first
war.
the first Secret War, the Secret War to end all Secret Wars, which is before the Beyonder started fucking around in the universe in the whole and just had a big planet that he brought all the
Wearing his big white jumpsuit.
wearing his big white jumpsuit and with this bad mullet.
Continue, Leon.
Oh, well, the fact is, he thinks he sees villains from Marvel Comics. His dad's like, look, don't tell anybody that, all right? Just try to get on with your life and do your thing. But more and more often, he's seeing more villains. And in their world, these villains only exist in comic books. And yet there is something that's going on with the Beyonder to where, you get a glimpse of these villains talking amongst each other. And they have clearly transported over into, what is essentially our world, but the superheroes haven't. And what seems like something from the fringe, by the third issue, it's full on.
People Dr. Doom,
Yeah.
badasses. The Mole Man, the Vulture, definitely some also rans in there, but
And the Hulk.
yeah, and the Hulk has popped up already. And did you read the
third
issue?
one? Yes, I did.
So where we're getting MODOK, we're getting Electro,
The Lizard.
The Lizard is like in one of the last panels.
Like the villains,
Sandman.
the super villains barely have a presence in the first issue. You see a little bit more of them, in
Which
the
is
second.
just like,
and in the third one, they're all over.
We think of this as we kind of think of these characters in very cartoony terms. Even the Sandman and the Vulture.
These are these villains from 1985, from the Secret Wars period, who are temporarily crossed over into our universe, into our world. In a very limited, just this one tiny little hole. And for some reason, they're hanging out at that crappy house that's in your neighborhood to do it. I don't think it's the type of event that's going to change anything. I think the point of this whole thing is about appealing to nostalgia for older readers like us.
Yeah, and not only that, but even older, because you deal with... the father is dealing with, the earlier Marvel, the Marvel of 1964, when they were just starting out. Leon really, once again, hit the nail on the head with this, and that this is something very much kind of out of Vertigo. It's like, where does House of Mystery fall into the DC continuity? And it's just like, well... It's a little spurless. It's a little nebulous. Who cares? It's a really good story thus far.
Here's to Mark Millar for writing a comic book for us and about us, for us saying, no, you know what? I came from the same place you guys were when you were growing up, and your only outlet was seeing these amazing people do amazing things. The
main character says, I really love reading stories that everything is taken care of in 24 pages.
Yeah, and this is...
Which, ironically enough, nothing has been taken care of within 24 pages in the series.
Yeah, your life might have sucked, and you know what? I get it, because so did mine, and I'm right there with you guys. So let's have a fun story and know that we're all coming from the same place. And I really respect that.
At this point, I think the bottom line, at this point, it is a very good story being told well.
Even Phil Collins is pretty much Bootsy Collins compared to me.
Come on, man.
Now, I don't claim to be white, but I got to say, I checked out of the music scene quite a while ago. I'm kind of like the vampire Lestat in that way. I'm pretty much like buried underground waiting for like good music to come back around again so I can wake up.
You're like, what is this Lincoln Park?
Oh, God. Lincoln Park.
But we got our resident music expert, Mr. Greg here.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's been a fan of Spill for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You guys, the website and everything. I mean, I'm a big movie fan, obviously, but it's just like when I was finishing my degree.
Oh, man. You have a master's.
Well,
you're supposed to be my
finishing my
master
degree.
now? Is that it?
Yeah.
Uneducated.
Well, wait. I mean,
Wait, is that racist with black to black? I don't know how that works.
I'm gonna sit.
I'm
gonna sit and
it
cut
happened.
off his nuts. No, I'm sorry. No. Wow. Jesse Jackson reference, but
You got any ideas on what our musical direction should go?
Yeah.
What it should be?
my favorite bass player, Marcus Miller, who I'm using obscure names that nobody's gonna know, but Marcus Miller.
Yeah, they're going to think you're talking about Mark Millar, which is,
Oh, I love that guy.
who
He
is
plays
not
the-
funky in the least.
Yeah,
He plays the sax.
Marcus Miller played with everybody from Miles Davis to he co-wrote "Doing the Butt." He did. He co-wrote.
Hell yeah!
And like a laid back funk and groove. It's almost like a funk swing. Like when you got jazz guys that ventured into funk, the music still had kind of like a swing to it.
So you're going to write a jazz song?
Yes.
For the...
I will come
All
up with
right.
a cool
Man, you're
theme.
so laid back. He's like you're talking about like
Well, that's
this is so chill,
Wait a
Daddy.
minute.
well, that's what.
What are you guys doing in here? It's jazz funk, and you don't want no part of this bullshit.
No part of it.
That's a lot of funk for three of the whitest guys you've ever seen.
Hey, Joe Zawano, he was.
Hey man, I am packed to the brim with soul, Jason. I don't know about you.
So, are we talking funk? Like you mean like the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Or
No.
Okay, I'm going to take Cyrus out back and kill him with a shovel. Excuse me.
Well, let's do like 20 years from now when you're on NPR going, all right, this is like the first take I did for the the league idiots.
For the league guys, but it was so cool.
It's going to be the league tapes.
The
They're going to
league
find them
tape.
in a vault.
Yeah, exactly. The league tape. You know, it'll be all the league tapes, and y'all ain't hip to that. But I'm
Along
hip
with
to- but I'm
Carlisle
hip to
Skeleton.
A lot of good music and brilliant insights, but all
Well,
you can hear is Bo.
But that's like when you're thinking. Going back to the music part, it's just I think it's almost like jazz because you guys there's a bunch of different ideas that come through, and then when you start riffing, I mean it's like if you got musicians improvising together, there's a theme and you start riffing. Maybe the sax player will take it to one place, and then when he leaves it off, maybe to the keyboard player, he'll take it from there, and that's the way you guys loop your opinion. So I think as a bassist, my job would be to support what you guys do and then accent it to make it stand out even better.
Jesus, I feel so much cooler now than I have ever felt in my life.
This is like dancing about architecture,
Yes.
to be quite honest.
Yeah, you guys are like jazz musicians. Oh, man, I'm going to go to a bar tonight. I'm trying to pick somebody. Yeah, baby, I'm like a jazz musician.
Greg, I should probably tell you that most of the people on this side are listening to Korn right now.
Well, I'm trying to enlighten people.
Yeah,
is
man.
That okay,
No.
Ron? Is that
A rat
wrong
bit
with
my
that?
sister Nell, and Whitey's on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Her legs and arms
Thank you,
began to
Gil.
swell,
Thank
and
you,
Whitey's
please,
on the moon.
I have no idea what that means.
Gil's got hair.
at
Gil's
all.
got hair.
I was about to say, is that
He was like-
Dolomite? What is that?
I don't even know
Gil-
that.
Actually, there was something. You guys had made this joke about Ebony magazine.
Yeah, because it's Ebony magazine ain't
Well,
funny.
I no.
Fuck
but,
Will Eisner!
No, but the funny thing is,
It's not comedy.
but it. You remember the Saturday Night Live where they're doing Joe Piscopal's doing Frank and Eddie Murphy's doing
I
he's
am black.
and you
Woody,
are
don't mess with
white.
it.
You
I am
are
black
blind as
and
a bat, and I have sight.
Side by side on the piano, Negro.
No, my
Don't
amigo,
fight.
my amigo, Negro.
No,
Let's not
not
fight.
fight.
But he says before they start playing, he says, "What is this ebony ivory? All I know is that ivory is a soap and ebony is a magazine most people do not read." And, every time I hear ebony, I always hear that line. I was like, God, that's funny. That is
Woody.
funny.
and
Woody.
funny because it's true.
Well,
Well, see, y'all should check out the new issue because it's
Yeah.
all about the 25 coolest brothers in the world.
Okay, now see,
and we're on it.
And there's two editions. One has Barack Obama on the cover, and the other has Samuel L. Jackson on the cover.
no, we look at Barack Obama and we go, you know what? There's a guy who could have been on the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, he's got hey.
He really could.
Well, you know what? We're going to see what happens. We're going to sit down with Greg, and we're going to see if maybe there's a theme in our future
Yes.
here. But guys, I want to say thanks to everyone once again for listening. If you pay attention to what's going on Spill, we are expanding what Bo and Jason are doing. So please, both these guys are reviewing DVDs now for us, and they're doing a fantastic fucking job. Give them some feedback on that, please, because they'd love to hear it.
Send me pictures of your boobs, male or female.
Send Jason pictures of your moobs.
I know most of the
And-
males have them, actually.
I'd like to just get in and thank our members. Our numbers are going up exponentially, like every
Yeehaw!
month. And it's all because of you guys. You've been digging us and loving us, and we love you for it.
And there's finally some people figuring out that we're funnier than a Coco. So, it's great. It took a while for us to get on the front page for more than 3 hours.
That's right. If you want more people to join in here, you're gonna have to petition Corey and say like, hey, how come those guys can't get the front page for more than half a day on Saturday?
We're actually you guys,
Well,
but with a
sometimes-
lot more
sometimes-
You shut the fuck up, Bo. We're actually you guys with a lot more alcohol in your systems. Bo, you may speak.
Oh, I was gonna say thank you.
Bo, shut the fuck.
But mostly we want to say thank you to Jason for letting me interrupt him yet again. No, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Please keep sending us your comments, your questions, your emails. It means so much to us, and by God, we intend to answer every question as soon as we can. We really want to thank Greg for coming in here, watching us work, doing an incredible job of commentary, hopefully educating you guys about some music you never heard of, and hopefully by the next time we get this up, we may even have a theme song written by him truly. Other than that, please keep listening, keep coming back. Write everybody and tell us how cool tell them how cool we are, and
keep telling Akoko that we're better than them.
And keep telling Akoko that we are better than them. We're going to get up on that carousel for more than 3 hours someday.
It's the only versus that I approve of.
Go Team Leon! Go Team Leon!